Avengers Endgame. That was a roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean...
If you haven't watched it, don't watch this video.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get into some major spoilers with this. And it's going to be... I don't see how you could talk about this movie without discussing spoilers. It seems impossible. But yeah, if you haven't seen the movie for some reason, then definitely just stay away.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the movie was intense. It was funny. It was sad. It made us laugh and cry, and it was insane. We saw it on opening day, and I'm hoping to go back to see it again, but man, I was crying in the theater.
The best movies. One of the best movies I've ever seen.
Yeah. And everybody was complaining about it being 3 hours until they saw it, and they realized, oh wow, 3 hours maybe wasn't even enough to capture what they were trying to communicate with it, and they definitely succeeded. I mean, that was amazing. So let's get into specific plot points. First of all, the opening, it opened in probably the most perfect way to set the tone. Hawkeye's family just dusting away. Is dusting the right verb to use for that?
Who knows? They got turned to dust, Thanos snapped, and he's the only one left. And really the original Avengers were, well, not really the only people left, but like the only superheroes left.
Yeah, I think it really showed and confirmed what we were all thinking. All of us fans were like, okay, yeah, Hawkeye's probably going to be Ronin in this movie. And then, sure enough, it opens with his family dying, and then he goes on
a revenge spree.
Killing spree. So it definitely had the opening that we were all hoping for. And then it gave this false sense of hope afterwards, where the Avengers have Captain Marvel and they think that they can go and take Thanos, and they can in a sense, but then he's used the stones to destroy themselves, and they're gone, and it almost killed Thanos, which shows the commitment he has to this cause of killing half the universe.
And then Thor comes in, chopped off his head.
Yeah, I think there was a really nice line there to throw back to into Infinity War, where he says he aimed for the head, which was perfect for that scene.
And then he disappears for 5 years.
Yeah, Fat Thor. At first I was kind of frustrated about that. I didn't really know what to think. But then, as I started thinking about it, it really was a nice way to show how Thor handled with grief. He became an alcoholic, and it showed that he, even if you're a Norse god, you're not perfect, and you have these flaws to you that come out, the worst sides of you that come out after when you lose, and when you lose everything and you don't see a way back, which I think was a theme throughout this whole movie, just hopelessness and not...
Hope comes.
Yeah, when time travel finally comes back, that was a very good interlude to the next one. The rat, which really was the one who saved everybody in this movie. The rat that, it was a rat or a mouse, but he crawled out of the van, Ant-Man shows up, and then he has a way to travel through time, which creates this spark.
Scientist Hulk, he helps a lot.
Yeah, Professor Hulk was one of my favorite parts of this movie, because Thor, it showed the contrast between Banner and Thor, where you've got Thor who becomes an alcoholic, and then Banner who actually uses that grief to
Help Thor.
or become somebody better, and to master and become one with the Hulk. And the Hulk was sick of just being used, and Banner was sick of always turning into the Hulk. So they decided to
Merge together.
Yeah, they compromised. And then
Tony has a daughter, and
yeah, I love you 3000. One of the saddest and cutest lines of the movie. Yeah, I think I'm excited to see what the daughter. What was her name?
let's go look at
I don't remember her name. But yeah, she was. I'm very excited to see what they do with her in the movies, in the next few movies, and then Pepper with the rescue armor in the final battle.
which we'll get into in just a few minutes.
Yeah.
Still a lot more to cover.
And then I guess the other big scene was when they do have the Infinity Gauntlet, the Infinity Stones, and they bring everybody back, and then another false sense of hope. I think that everything is all right, but then
Thanos and his minions blow up the Avengers.
Outriders,
HQ.
I think they're called.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Nebula opening up the portal for 2014, Thanos to come into 2024 Earth, and then one of the craziest scenes in that movie was just him blowing up Avengers HQ, and the whole thing is just dust, which then starts the final battle.
It starts out with Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America.
Walking towards Thanos, which
Thanos
was
just
one of
sitting
the
there.
coolest scenes or shots of the movie. Just seeing the three of them approaching Thanos, not knowing if they're gonna make it out, which sadly one of them didn't. Yeah, that, I don't know how long that action scene was, but it was not long enough, in my opinion. It was just awesome. Captain America's shield being destroyed by Thanos.
And he's just getting pummeled, and he picks up Mjolnir, and that's what Thor's on.
And then the most amazing scene, probably my favorite shot, maybe in cinematic history, was everybody just walking through the portal. Basically every character in the MCU just walking through these portals made by Doctor Strange.
After the 5 years.
Yeah, and then there was the beautiful reuniting of Tony and Peter, where the hug, oh this is nice, and then
The final battle.
well, we're about halfway through that now, but then Doctor Strange lifting up the finger to say that was the one reality. That was the moment where I realized, oh wow, Tony is the only person who can do this. He has to be the one.
So he runs up to Thanos and somehow he jumps on Thanos and like somehow gets the Infinity Stones.
And yeah, and then I think it was crazy just to see that whole character arc from Tony Stark. He goes from this self-centered narcissist who doesn't care about anybody except and only really thinks about his own image, and then his ending is him sacrificing himself, which is a beautiful transition. And then you've got the other arc, which is Captain America, who starts out as willing to do anything for anybody, and he really doesn't care at all for himself. He just feels like he should be used for his country, and he never wants to have to make any good decisions for himself because he feels like that could compromise other people. And then he makes this final decision to stay in the past, live with Peggy, and have a happy life, and clearly he was satisfied with that. But yeah, some of the pacing just was off. And yeah, at the beginning of Age of Ultron, there's just this huge battle, and that's sort of what the tone has been set for the MCU. But yeah, overall, this was almost a perfect movie.
And I'd say that I'd probably give it a A+ because it was honestly one of the best movies. I really recommend it for everybody, and it was, to me, it had I think the slow pace made it better because they kind of need that for the end, because it is the Endgame. So like,
yeah, they definitely showed that, as it sort of gave the tone of hopelessness for the beginning. But one other thing that they just did amazingly was connecting or showing how they were ending everything, all 21 movies previous to this, and then they also were starting something new. And I think that the Russos did a really good job with that. I think the whole cast, Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Robert Downey Jr. especially, they all they pushed themselves so hard. Scarlett Johansson, we didn't even talk about Black Widow's death, which was such a sad scene. Her and Ronan
trying to fight over who would die.
Yeah. And
I really thought that Hawkeye would die. I really thought he was, before I knew that they were going to bring everybody back, I thought he was the one that more really deserved to die because he had lost his family.
Yeah, I think he really wanted to die because he didn't have anything left to lose. And I think Black Widow just really knew, Natasha knew that he had so much more potential, and he needed to be able to show that he wasn't the murderer that he had become.
Yeah, he thought that he deserved to die because he did kill a bunch of people, but Black Widow said she didn't blame people for what they did. She blames people for what they're choosing to do or what they're going to do.
Yeah.
What they're going to do to help that.
Yeah, so this was a completely different tone for an MCU movie, but it was amazing. All right, and so
thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching.
Please scare.
No, don't ask them to do that. No, don't. No.
Let's get this out.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, please let us know in the comments down below what you would like to see next. All right, thank you.